Hello, Big Cypress Bobcats. This is Miss G or Miss Grant, your school counselor. So today I get a fun job. We are going to be talking about setting your citizenship WIG today. So every quarter you will set a new citizenship, wildly important goal, and it's all about how we're going to better Big Cypress. So let's talk about it. The first thing is, what is a citizen? Well, a citizen means you belong to a group. Usually it's a group of people. And so you're a citizen to the state of Florida. You're a citizen of the United States of America. And you're also a citizen to our Big Cypress community. So we're going to kind of talk about what kind of things can we look for. Well, one thing, it might be something that you have a challenge with. So maybe your challenge is staying organized. And so that's something you want to work on. Well, that helps Big Cypress because if we keep organized and keep things clean, then it makes it a clean school for everybody, right? It keeps your classroom organized, which helps the other student in your class be organized too and keep their classroom clean. So it could be a challenge. It could also be something you're passionate about. So one thing I'm passionate about is that I want to meet every single person at Big Cypress. So I've met all the teachers, but now I want to meet all the students. So we'll talk about my quarter WIG in just a second. Okay, so thinking about a challenge and thinking about a passion, let's go through some examples. So this is what it's going to look like right here. So the first thing is you're going to set your WIG. So you're not going to tell me things that you don't want to do or things that you're bad at. You're going to tell me what you will do to help Big Cypress. So this is a good example. All right, let's start with like a kindergarten, how to be a good friend. So my citizenship goal this quarter is to be a good friend. But you have to think of two lead measures. So how are you going to measure that you're a good friend? Well, maybe in kindergarten, that means that I will let others play. That could be one way, right? Maybe once a week you invite somebody to play. A second way is maybe you're going to use kind words with your friends. So if you're using kind words and inviting someone to play, that means at least that you're a good friend in that way, right? So you would go ahead and track that every day. So on Monday, you're going to say, did I invite someone to play? Yes. Or did I use kind words today? Yes. And at the end of the week, you're going to say, did I meet my goal? So that's the first way. Think about for the older grade levels what it means to be a good friend. Well, maybe you're going to include others too, right? So one of your biggest things is that you have a group of friends and you don't like others coming into it. So maybe you're going to be a good friend and include others. That helps Big Cypress to make sure that no one is feeling excluded or lonely. And maybe, you might remember this from last year in our Connect for Success, be loyal to the absent. And that means that the person that's not there, that absent person, you're not talking bad about them. You're not saying mean things about them. You're making sure that when they're not there, you're still being a kind friend, even if they're not present. So maybe for the older grade levels, that's what it means for you to be a good friend, is to get rid of that gossip. And then maybe you have that organization, right? So maybe your area around you in class is really not clean, and maybe you want to keep Big Cypress clean too. So that's kind of your passion, but also your challenge, right? So maybe you're going to have your goal as my citizenship goal this quarter, that my citizenship goal this quarter is to keep Big Cypress clean. Well, that definitely helps our community, right? That's you being a good citizen. So maybe I will pick up trash, right? I'm going to pick up trash. So maybe you go out to the courtyard in the morning and your job is to take a bag and you pick up a few items of trash. And maybe every day you pick up a few, and that makes a big difference to our community so that Big Cypress is clean for everybody. And maybe I will keep my classroom area clean. So that could include the area around your desk. That could be including your desk, right? Keeping it organized. That could be your backpack and also your cubby area, right? So making sure that everything is clean around you and organized so that you're not having stuff all over the floor where your classmates trip all over it, right? So maybe that is your citizenship goal. One more example. So say you have a challenge, and a lot of us do, that we just kind of do before we think, right? We say or do something without thinking. That's not so kind. So maybe that's our challenge, is we want to stop and think before we react. So that could also be a citizenship goal. So you're not going to say, well, I'll be good, right? Or I'm not going to jump in and just act before I think. We're not saying not. We're going to say what we will do. So my citizenship goal this quarter is to think before I react. That's a great idea. That's something that we have to practice anyway. Adults are really good at it because we've had a lot of practice. So maybe that's something you want to practice with. And that's a great way for you to be on a kindness journey, right? To be kind to others. And when you're kind, you're helping Big Cypress be a better place. Citizenship goal. I love it. Okay, so maybe I will think before I react. That's your goal. So 2 lead measures might be, when I'm upset, I will do 3 lazy 8 breaths. So maybe you do 3 of those whenever you're feeling upset. And then maybe your second one is, when I have a problem, I will use an iMessage. And maybe you remember this from last year with Connect for Success, and maybe this is new to you. But when you use an iMessage, you say, I will, because, and can you please? So when you have a problem, you say it out in a nice and kind, respectful way. So you say, I feel upset because you pushed me. Maybe next time you can keep your hands to yourself. What a respectful way. So that gives you some ideas of how you could stop and think before you react. All right, my friends, I cannot wait to see what your wig is going to be. Here's my wig for this quarter. My citizenship wig is, I will meet every student at Big Cypress Elementary. And to do this, my 2 ways of tracking it is, 1, I will go into every classroom for a lesson by the end of the quarter. And I should come in your room a couple times. So if I've already been in your room, you know that I've already been meeting you, but I want to meet everybody. So I'm going to go in every classroom to do a lesson. I will also walk around the cafeteria to meet everyone. And I'm going to do this probably once a day, so I can do different lunches, right? So that I can walk around and meet you guys too. I'm not going to memorize all of your names, so maybe you can help me and remind me and introduce yourself and say your name and maybe something cool about yourself. All right, my friends, I hope you have fun setting your citizenship wig, and I can't wait to see all of it. And remember, at the end of the quarter, if we reach our citizenship wig, there is a celebration. You have your accountability partner. I put Mr. Carter as mine. And you also have when you will meet to talk about your goal. So think about that too. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. See you soon.